Without further ado, I'm going to bring up the people of the hour, Michael and Jordan Harper. They're our guests today. They're incredible cosplay artists, and they're going to share a little bit about their art and why they love this so much and why expression and creativity in this way means so much for all of us. So give it up for Michael and Harper, everyone.
All right, good morning, everyone. Let me see if I can go to the next slide here. There we go. Welcome, Creative Mornings Chicago. Good to see you all this bright early morning. We are dressed very appropriately for a very warm 90-degree summer day.
Yeah, so we, I think my mic's off.
There we go. Yes.
Awesome. And I'm Jordan, and we're so excited to bring cosplay to Creative Mornings.
And despite how we look, we are fairly cool. It's all cotton. It breathes. If we had a nickel for every time that somebody asked how warm we were, we would have enough nickels maybe to buy coffee up front at Bad Coffee. So I guess a quick introduction. I am Mike, or Caffeine. Like caffeinated crafting is kind of our moniker online. I always really like when you're in a very online-centric space, you get to kind of make your own name up. I am finance by trade. I work at a global CPG company. It's very large, and you have probably consumed our product at some point in your life. And I have zero formal training at all, despite how I look today. I went to conventions for years, and it's kind of like, oh, I'd like to dress up sometime. And it took someone just kind of shoving me over the edge with a dare, because you just can't back down sometimes when someone challenges you, to kind of help me break out of that shell and start to actually build something. And it's been a long downhill slide ever since, ending with me here talking with y'all this morning. And
I am Jordan, so I was culinary by trade up until the very end of last year, where I have officially now transitioned into doing cosplay and commissions full-time. Is now my full-time job. I started cosplay not on a dare, but on an invite. So my friend had already attended a convention. She saw what was going on and how everyone was dressed. So she said, "You're coming with me next year. Start thinking of an outfit you want to wear." I threw together something from my closet, which is also known as closet cosplay, and had a wonderful time. And our similarities here is I also have absolutely no formal training in sewing or making. Most cosplayers start off with no training.
It's just sometimes it's some hot glue, some thread, and a very deep passion to really bring something to life, for whether it's just for yourself or folks around you at a convention. And really, cosplay can be just anything, right? I mean, you think of it mostly as, oh, I'm putting this on to represent like a character, but it can be so much more than that. It can be a concept. You can mash two things together, whether that's two IPs, culture, or as you'll see later in the presentation, we actually have someone who's cosplayed a piece of architecture, which is always a blast to see. And really, there's no rules except
have fun. It's all about having fun. The name itself, cosplay, it's costume play. It is just dressing up is something you really enjoy doing and making it what you want it to be.
And it really comes down to having a very pervasive can-do attitude and realizing that anything around you can be a part of a costume. So you saw those like very big fox costumes in the start of the presentation. Inside of those tails is an inflatable pool toy. We found them on Amazon, and it deflates and everything collapses down and fits in a suitcase. Despite the size of those costumes, they fit in one check bag.
Yep.
So we could fly out to the West Coast if we wanted to. After the show, if you're out by the donuts, we do have build books. So they have like our detailed whip and build of everything if you want to flip through and see any of the weird stuff we put into our costumes.
And so like the second image here we have is a common use of googly eyes. This creates a riveted effect on armors, so cosplayers will always be looking for materials to use and craft into what they're trying to achieve in a look.
And if someone's doing that, you can hear them down the hall at a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Like
You'll hear
you
the
hear
googly
a
eyes.
chink, 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 chink as they walk down the hall. And then those are actually set on Warbler, which is a thermoplastic. That was originally invented for shoemaking. And then sometime in the late 2000s, someone said, well, it's a thermoplastic. I can make armor out of this. And all of a sudden their sales just shot through the roof. And some poor marketing guy is like, why did sales double in the last 2 years? I have no idea why. And then they finally figured it out. But as far as kind of like our story is concerned, we met at a convention. I kind of went down to Atlanta on a whim, and funny enough, we were trolling through photos to make this presentation, and we found this one of like the Pokemon photo shoot from I think 2013, the first year I went to that con, and we had not talking to each other yet, had we?
We hadn't even met like formally at all. My friends and I attended the event, and I had this picture in a file, and it was where we started to meet friends, and our friends that go to different events, you start seeing them again and again. They become your con friends.
It's a very, well, despite the size of some conventions you hear about, 50,000, 100,000 people, it's a very large community, but it's very tight-knit. Especially when you start to have like your little niche fandoms, or you go to meetups regularly, you'll start to see the same faces over and over again. It can kind of start to become extended family over the years. And kind of, while we connected then, we kind of spoke to each other, drifted apart, spoke to each other, drifted apart, and then kind of we reconnected kind of right before the pandemic, and we decided to build something together, which can be a real great lead-in to kind of mixing and blending your own creative strengths together to come out with a really awesome product cooperatively.
Yeah, we started working with my friends as well, and so we shared skills, we learned from each other, we came together, those of us that lived close by to each other could meet up on weekends and have like a sewing weekend. And then as lockdown happened, everything kind of shifted, but we're all staying connected.
And you unfortunately lost your job down in Atlanta and was like, hey, you want to move up to Chicago?
And I took the leap.
and kind of from there, we started to build more things. And our next build up there, we started to kind of conceptualize that together. And as we were kind of building it, when you're during lockdown, if you're able to stay with someone 24/7 locked in a small apartment and did not choke each other, I think that's pretty good from a relationship standpoint. It's like, hey, I want to marry this girl. So why go through all the tradition and hassle of buying a ring when I can spend hundreds of hours building your lady a set of armor? So together we built that, and then we took it into a contest. We went on stage, and I promise I didn't want to embarrass this girl on stage with a proposal, so we did it back in the room after we won.
Yeah. No, and afterwards besides for not having a more normal engagement, we also didn't really have a very normal traditional wedding either. We actually got married in cosplay because it's just so much of what we are and what we do that we knew we had a lot of friends who came into one particular convention. So we said, hey, come in a day early. We had everybody come in, and we did do a smaller thing with family just to make them happy. But our nerdiness was have friends there, have them in cosplay. If you go to the
yeah, so, and it was one of the weirdest and most fun weddings you will ever potentially see. This was actually out at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare, right for Anime Central if you're a local. We rented a room. They always say like don't see your wife before her wedding day, and like.
He helped me get dressed because I wasn't going to get into all of that without any help. So.
And we both build pieces of each other's outfits. We had a whole procession. We had all of our friends in costume, even one of her friends.
Yeah, one of my friends was worried, like, hey, my outfit has a lot of white because of the character I want to dress as. And I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Wear it.
Just have fun.
Just come and have fun because that's what we're here for.
Like, where does all of this come from, right? Like, this is a lot of like weird, fun things, and really, it's just whatever inspires you. What is your passion? How can you turn that into a costume? Do you want to take something and give it your own twist? Do you want to apply a certain skill?
Do you have a certain style that you like? You can apply that to a character. Do you want to be a villain for a day? Like this, it's really expressive. So like when it came to our wedding, we were going with like this, sort of Shinto. There's a Japanese lore of the fox's wedding. So that went into our inspiration of that, but anything can inspire your designs to create your characters, your mashups.
And even like the costumes we're wearing are pretty much, I don't want to say a one-to-one copy of what was in the game, because everything is so much more than just a one-to-one copy. You look at pieces of art, especially older kind of grainy pixelated art, it's like, what's that supposed to be? And you get to kind of make your own interpretation on something, even if you're trying to recreate it as closely as possible. And we also have some examples here of some unique twists and mashups.
Yeah, so the first group here, our group of 4, the X-Men is a set of Carnival inspired. The one in the Red Phoenix is from Trinidad and Tobago. She took her culture and her love of the Carnival styles and outfits, created her design with her nerdy twist, got her friends involved, and now we have a small, tiny little subgenre of Carnival cosplays.
And in the middle there is actually me on the far right, dressed as Boomhauer from King of the Hill. And we mixed up King of the Hill and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I cannot go and explain that. Go look it up later. It's a very, very deep rabbit hole to dive down. But we saw some silly art online. We're like, that's really fun. Let's go make a costume out of that. And it brought a lot of smiles to people. And then on the far right is a friend of ours from out in Boston, cosplaying as Benjamin Franklin if they were in Warhammer 40K. And there's this space marine armor with phenomenal American Revolution motifs on it, and it's just her own creativity and brain just pulling this all together to bring a concept to life. And really what goes into making it is really anything. I know we mentioned no rules, just have fun. Anything that you can think of around your house or junk that you can find can be incorporated into your builds.
Yeah, we already talked about how you can use unconventional materials. The main thing is, if it looks right, if it's what you're going for, go for it. If you don't be afraid to rework it. It's not like we're wearing an outfit that's been reworked a couple times.
And always, if you can, even though sometimes it's inevitable, please try to avoid the convention crunch.
If you set yourself a deadline, it's okay if you don't make it.
We've never been up sewing at 3 a.m. or walking out with safety pins and a prayer, hoping that our outfit holds together. And also, we have never spray painted in the hotel stairwell. I say that, we actually haven't, but I've seen it happen. Don't destroy the hotel. That's like the only other rule. Oh, there we go. And we've shown all these big builds off, and we are wearing a very big build right now. Is it a competition? Not really, but kind of.
If you want it to be.
If you want it to be. Most conventions will host cosplay contests. That's something that we've kind of dove into. It's helped drive us. It's like a subculture inside of a subculture.
Yeah, some of the best people we've met when it comes to learning crafts, learning skills, have been while we're hanging out backstage of the events, because everyone's willing to share their processes, how they make it, what skills they use.
And
where to learn.
Even just on the floor too, right? If you start to talk to other creatives or folks that have built their costume or even assembled it via closet, you can make some really great connections with folks, and who knows where that can always lead to. There we go. And to be cliche, I mean, it's the friends you make along the way.
Yeah. I've been doing this since college. My friends and I, we were so excited when we got our first mannequins and got to start just making stuff on the fly. Because it was our hobby that I still talk to these same friends. We still see these folks. Some have left the community, left the cosplay world, come back. Some people just take the skills and are now making fashion. They've gone into fashion, they've gone into theater, they've used it to go further in many different outlets. Straight
up industry with some folks. And then even you say community, and it can be a hobby for life. And that other photo down there in the lower right, some friends of mine, we've been attending conventions as a large group for over 10 years at this point. It really can kind of become a great third space, found family, great community, and it's like finding your place in this wider ocean of subcultures that we all kind of live in. And for us, it's been a great creative outlet. Like I said, I work finance. I sit on a computer for 8 hours a day talking to people over Zoom calls, and by the time I'm done with that, I'm like, man, I need to physically make something with my hands.
And I don't know how he does that. I can't do that. I was never going to be that. It's why I went culinary first, and now I actually do this as my job. I very much also stepped into cosplay because it gave me a great amount of armor. It makes me feel so much more comfortable being myself, and it's hard to be intimidated by a crowd when you're kind of big and intimidating looking. So
What stage fright when we're
what
just
is
like
stage
this?
fright when I'm like, yeah.
But yeah, it's been a great way to connect with people, to really drive our creativity forward. The friends in the photo with us are another phenomenal couple. They have some of the best painting I've ever seen. They can't sew.
We're teaching them.
We taught them how to sew, they taught us how to paint. It's great for being able to exchange skills, and then obviously outside of that too, having a great pair of friends probably for hopefully the rest of each of our lives. And we always keep wanting to circle back on and iterate that cosplay and creativity is for anyone, irrespective of your skill set or whether you're crafting. Like I said, you mentioned closet cosplay.
There's closet cosplay, you can thrift stuff, you can find just old clothes and modify them. Our friend here had an idea of the convention simulator where he literally just designed a little printout, had it printed on a poster board. He puts a pair of goggles on and some gloves, and he walks around going, "It's like I'm actually there."
Staff always says a hoot with him, and it's every year. It's like, what new memes did you put on the box art for this year? And just seeing him like tear them away and having the Steam discount sticker on the previous years, people just like burst out laughing. I've seen people like just had to take a minute because they're laughing so hard. But as far as like doing it for the meme,
anything can be a cosplay. So do it for the meme. My friends and I recreated a meme many, many years ago when we were just happened to be in a silly cosplay at that time. We also have the very recent Chicago Pope.
The corpse of that joke was still warm. And it's like you run all the jokes, and then here's this guy at Anime Central with a Chicago Pope outfit and a hot dog crucifix walking around. And then obviously a guy who did, I think his handle is the Milordian, again, did this for fun. And then Jepson's was like, can you come to events and just stand around and we'll pay you?
So you never know where it's going to take you. You could create something that a company loves, but also just extending to our other friends. It can be any form of media. It can be video games. It can be international animations, and all crafts can be applied. Our friend here in the Zelda has a love for knitting and crochet. That entire outfit is all crocheted.
Literally everything, including the wig. It's a phenomenal piece. She's a great human being.
And then our friend in the middle, I also want to mention, is like it is also extremely accessible. She is legally blind and still makes some of the cutest, amazing costumes. She's actually gotten into doing a lot of Swift outfits, and holy crap, they look amazing.
And to start to really kind of close things out, again, it's for anyone. I mentioned earlier there was a piece of architecture. There it is.
That is a costume.
That is a costume. That is the statue in the lobby of the Hyatt Regency out at O'Hare. There's a person, I swear there's a person in there. It shuffles around very slowly. But staff thought it was hilarious. There's a photo out there with like the entire hotel staff taking a photo with it. And really, as you start to wear costumes or go to a convention, you really become a part of that experience. In a way, it can be a form of live theater. Folks you may not be trying to act in character, but in a way, it kind of happens whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah, if anything, taking away, I just inspire people to dress up. If you thought you might have wanted to dress in the punk theme today and didn't, next time do. Don't be afraid. If someone says it's a costume party, go all out.
Yeah, and really, and apart from just dressing up a little bit more, whatever your creative passion or creative pursuit is, color outside the lines a little bit. Think about other ways you can apply things, anything around the home, other skill set, and kind of just expand your horizons. And hopefully, if anything, you can take that away and apply it to what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Now we got some time for Q&A.
Thanks. Yeah, I was just saying thank you so much for sharing. I would love to know more about the maintenance and the storage of the costumes afterward. Do you only wear them once? Do they come back?
Oh no, we definitely rewear them for quite a while until they start to become a little disheveled at some point. And
Especially when we try to build things that we can actually wash. Like we build them with like, I can throw this in the washing machine and it'll probably be fine. There's like sprays or like whether it's diluted Listerine sometimes.
Smells out.
And we try to store it as delicately as possible. I mean, when you spend, I think these were 300 hours of labor each to build. And yeah, we just try to be delicate with them. And eventually they can get worn down, but typically a cycle for us is we'll build something, it'll run a circuit for like 2 years usually, and then we'll cycle it out because we tend to build like one big piece a year, roughly.
Thank you.
yeah.
Hi, thanks for sharing with us. So I wanted to know about the evolution of cosplay. Did it start with like animated films where people used characters from then and then expanded from that point?
You know.
Oh yeah.
more, though.
If you're using the community in general.
Yeah, the community in general, did it start with that or?
I would say sci-fi more than anything. The actual, I think, first documented instance of someone wearing cosplay was actually the 1930s. Or like they had like a book convention in New York because there was sci-fi literature. You had H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds back then, radio dramas, and then kind of from there, I think the first like San Diego Comic-Con was in I want to say the 60s or 70s. You had people dressing up for that. There's photographic evidence out there somewhere on Google, but I would say it started more with sci-fi. And then expanded out from there as you got anime as a medium, more video games came on the scene, and it's just kind of exploded. I want to say after the early 2000s is when it really started to take off.
And since the pandemic, a lot of people took a lot of time to, share what they're working on online, making tutorial videos and sharing processes, especially around the pandemic. So there's lots of new shared knowledge that has never been so easily accessible. So like when I started, I literally found a sewing machine in my parents' closet and it still had the manual, and my mom said, if you can figure it out, go for it. So
it was like a social evolution.
yes.
Social as well as a lot of self-learning when it comes, at least when it comes to individuals.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Other questions?
All right, right over here.
You mentioned the googly eyes. What are some other unique materials that you've used to create?
Cardboard, plastic bags, the banana peels, the shell halves of Christmas ornaments. You can make yourself little balls if you need something round.
Oh yeah. I think the weirdest material. I'm trying to think. I've actually took a pair of jeans just to make internal materials. So anytime I'm recycling old jeans, I will use that as my stabilizer sometimes instead of going out and buying more stabilizer because I just want that heavier canvas. So there's a lot of different materials we'll use. Anything can work.
Banana peel is interesting. I want to hear a little
Inflatable
Like the big
banana.
inflatable banana.
We will always go around and ask people to touch them, like, what do you think is in here? And it's a guessing
It's a big,
game.
big airbag.
Very few people actually even guess an inflatable.
Any other questions? We have some time. All right. Thanks so much for this. I was curious if you had any favorite spots around Chicago for supplies and materials for making your awesome creations.
You.
Couple. Obviously you've got Blitz off of North Avenue, and I can't remember the other streets. It's North Avenue, just along the river. And there's one in the Loop, I believe, as well. Discount Textile Warehouse. They are a magical place. If you've ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, this is how I always describe the shop to folks. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark, end of the movie, they're putting the Ark away in the warehouse. That is Discount Textile Outlet. If you find fabric that you like, buy the whole bolt because Lord knows you will never see that bolt again. And then Fisherman's Fabrics. It's by Manny's Deli, right off of, I want to say Roosevelt, kind of as it crosses the highway there. Phenomenal fabric store and very knowledgeable people.
All right, y'all, let's give it up for Jordan and Michael. Let's hear it. Thank you both for sharing your journey, your Hallelujah.